Here's our gate. Matt, tell us what you did with the gate.
Well, we were tired of hooking the dog up and having the door get frozen, so we decided we were going to put in a fence, and we both didn't want the privacy fence look or a chain link fence. So instead, we bought materials to build a fence out of basically it's hog wire or welded wire is what they call it. And we went with 5 foot because it gives us a little bit of height to it, in my opinion. It looks better. And then we had to tension it all up, and we ran posts along the front and then through the wood line, which you can't really see obviously. We ran it and basically stapled it to trees, or we used posts that we had on hand to be able to get it to be a full fence.
Yay.
And it goes all the way around the property now, on the back at least.
I can't tell. Yeah,
Pull.
The bottom didn't quite latch there.
You just give it a pull.
Okay.
And then freedom for the little dog.
Now you gotta film me.
What are you doing?
Showing them stuff.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
We have a tire for a chicken bath.
Yeah, the chicken bath.
We have one up front too, but I think we're using the one up front.
You can't see it. Oh, you can't see it, but we do have the fence going around the entire property until it cuts off with that fence. I hate the look of fences. Matt really wanted one, so this is a happy medium. I think he did a really good job of blending it with the environment.
We'll walk around and look at it where it goes through the woods.
Also, the dog had to be on a rope because she's a runner. She's a hound dog, so she doesn't have really a brain. She just goes. And we were kind of tired of that. She was tired of dragging it around the yard and getting it stuck on everything. So this was a solution. We've obviously got some leftover brush piles. Probably going to have those hauled off, and then we're going to save some of these nicer trees. I'm going to make some flower beds, or, you know, chicken yard furniture. I don't know. We'll figure out something for them. I just thought they were, you know, nice pieces of wood, and I wanted to give them another job other than just hauling them off. Don't
The dog's carrying her leash.
Don't do that. She's got her little jacket on. She is a warm weather puppy, so she doesn't hold up in the cold.
So actually you can see part of the fence right here. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but you can see it running through the wood line. And if we walk back there, I cut a path all the way through. I went through with the chainsaw and cleared a path. I'm going both directions, which you can't really see even because I didn't cut it that big. I basically just cut things out that were directly in the way. But it's hidden from everything.
All right. So going over here, our plan in the spring is to get a much bigger chicken coop and a whole lot of chickens. But in order to do that, we needed to build a chicken run, and Matt and I priced out a covered chicken run, and although it has a lot of pluses when it comes to security, ultimately I wanted the chickens to have a better quality of life in a larger space because I want a lot of chickens. So we kind of used that area that we had already cleared for the garden, or well, I should say for sunlight for the garden, and we've kind of put like a little temporary fence right here. We'll probably put posts and stuff in later on. The chickens have got all this cool area. They got lots of stumps and branches and even the compost pile to work over. So that'll have, it wraps all the way around the greenhouse when we walk to the other side. And then of course the big dirty movie, our huge time lapse of getting the garden set up. I think we added at least a foot of dirt to this garden.
It was about 12, it was 15 total yards of dirt, which ends up being about 6 to 7 inches depending on how well it's spread, which it's spread pretty well right now. Obviously we have some highs and lows just because moving dirt takes forever, and you'll see that throughout the video that you watched.
Hopefully watched.
It is quite the challenge to move this much dirt, and we started off, the reason we ended up with 15, because really you normally only get like 12 yards when you order with a dump truck, which you'll see in this. We decided to go the easy route, and we got a guy that was local to drop off what he called topsoil. And
That
let me
was
tell
a
you,
nightmare.
it was tree soil.
It was. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's free." He dropped off like 2 truckloads of root ball and then charged us money for it anyway. And I think at that point we just paid him to leave. So
Pretty much.
lesson learned.
Can't take the easy way.
The other guy we used, he's like running a legit excavation company, I guess.
Yeah, he started an excavation company actually this year. He's been trying to get it off the ground for a while and had enough support over winter and stuff to get it going. And I mean, he delivered the pretty high quality sifted topsoil. So, and then we got 2 truckloads of manure, which will probably get one more come spring just to get it finalized and make sure the whole garden is covered with it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just gonna say, ideally, a lot of people are moving towards no-till gardens, and that is an awesome way of gardening. But up here, it's so cold that the no-till method would take years to set up, and I do mean a minimum of 2 to 3 years. So in order just to get that basic kind of fertile soil started, we did bring in extra soil, manure, tilled it up. We'll till it up again in the spring, and then over time we hope to build the beds up rather than continue to till it. But again, it's just a way you kind of have to adapt to gardening far north. All right.
Which was unsuccessful this year.
Which was unsuccessful.
That's
How
fine.
dare you? I have a single.
We also had like 4 cantaloupes.
It's like that big.
But this was our goal to get all this stuff figured out and get it going better. And honestly, for a long time down there at the end, which we'll show you in a second, was the gate. And instead, I built her an actual gate to be able to get in and out of the garden that swings open and hits the dog in the butt.
Luxurious.
But it makes it, and really the reason for the gate is for basically not keeping the moose out, but making it so they aren't really like in there just tearing it up.
I mean, so last winter we did have, before we had any structures up here, we had 2 separate sets of mama and baby moose. And I think the calves stay with their mother for...
Until they have another calf.
Yeah, it's almost, is it almost
It's
2 years?
until they have another calf.
Oh, okay.
There's no like timeline. They'll stay with them until they have another calf, then the mom will kick them away.
Yeah, but we had one that I could tell this was her last year with her mommy, and I'm saying her because I'm just assuming, but and the other one I'm like, oh, she's got another year. They did come through here a lot. They really didn't mess much with the property. I hope to see them again up front, which is mostly where they walked, and I'm hoping that we didn't block their path off. But we had no issues with moose or even the Arctic hares that we've got a huge number of Arctic hares in our yard, or I should say on this property.
And they still show up.
They show
I've
up.
scared them every time I've come out.
They never bothered the garden. Maybe
Honestly,
even they knew it was
they also, I think with the fence being up, have found this area to be secure to them, or at least more secure. They have more of a chance of getting away, so they're coming.
Easily get through this, but they just
They get through it, under it, around it, you name it.
They don't.
They could probably honestly jump it.
These are raspberry plants.
That's a dog.
That's a dog, but so this is the spent cane from this year. We actually did get some berries off of it the first year. I was very surprised. This will not be trimmed until the spring because the plant still brings down nutrients from this. Down here you can see the frost hit this guy a little bit, but I kept the grass cover because that's kind of a way of insulating the plant a little bit. A lot of people will trim up and mulch around their plant. I'm leaving a grass cover. I want these plants to be as hardy as possible. So we've only got 3 and we're definitely going to put in more. This guy,
He doesn't have any starting.
he didn't have any down here. He did. I don't know.
The leaves fell off it pretty early. I don't know if he's gonna make it. This guy's actually like taken all of his effort and been like, I'm gonna grow bigger.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it. We'll see. Yeah,
So-
we'll see how it goes. So.
But yeah, so we actually took the garden. One thing we didn't say is the garden used to end here,
Oh, that's true.
and we took and expanded another, I think it was 12 feet almost. And we lined it up with the side of the house, and that's one of the big reasons why we needed more soil and stuff, because she ran out of room to plant things last year, and it was, even though it wasn't a fruitful garden, we still got things out of it. We still had our, good crop overall. But this gives her the option to plant a lot more in this space and keep her root crops separated from everything else if she so chooses to. And it'll just make it so that we can have a lot more vegetables, because eventually we'd like to not have to buy any.
I don't know if you guys saw a previous video in which I shared my nugget carrots, but that's because the soil here is really rocky, and they weren't able to get down, but they did grow nicely. So now I didn't put any garlic in this fall. I just wanted to focus on building the garden up, but I'm really looking forward to next year, where should everything go well, I'll be able to grow a lot more root crops and have a second planting in the fall for things like garlic, potatoes.
And you also have her old gate, which I'm in the process of actually fixing right now.
I
So this used to
hated
be propped up with a little rock, which is right there.
That's the T-Rex rock because it looks like a dinosaur skull. I dug that one out with my bare hands, and it is very heavy.
So that was propped up where the dog's standing for whatever reason, because she's confused, I guess. Where we used to get in and out of the garden right here, which was not the worst thing. It definitely was not beneficial for anybody. So we decided to put an actual gate in and fix that problem. So I did that. Then the greenhouse, which you guys have seen, not really much changed with it though, except for the wind decided to tear off my little flappy door.
Oh yeah, we did a video during a windstorm kind of thing to show the wind was so strong here it had actually shifted the greenhouse. And that video got corrupted or something. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, we didn't get to have it actually on display.
Yeah, so that's a bummer because it was actually it pushed it. The Wingo push. I can't talk.
The Wingo push.
The Wingo
It basically took the door. We had the door propped open because we were doing stuff in it, and the wind hit it hard enough to actually pull them apart, which you can still see. I mean, you can see the gapping on it. And I actually had to adjust the door and make a change to the door the way it was structured so they would actually close still.
I will say I'm happy we went with this kind of structure over a high tunnel. I think had we still had the plastic over the high tunnel, it could have seriously damaged it. A lot of people do have success with high tunnels here, but I'm the unluckiest person I know as far as things like that go, so it probably would have taken mine over to the neighbor's yard or something like that. So I'm really happy I have a stronger structure.
And the dog's excited to go check it out.
The dog wants in the greenhouse too for some reason.
It's warm.
Yeah, but like a
So
tree.
I have my stuff in here right now because this is going to be wintertime storage for basically any of the lawn tools, so that we can use the garage for the tent to grow everything,
tent,
which
yeah.
we haven't got to yet, but we'll be putting that together relatively soon once I get the garage cleaned out, which is another project for today, which won't be on video because I don't want you to see how messy my garage is.
We can't let people know how we live.
But yeah, so I moved all the lawn equipment out here for now, and I'm probably gonna move a few more things out here, but I just tilled in the manure. I got more dirt in here. We brought it up decently high in the front because this greenhouse actually settled forward because this area that we're standing on is lowland. So I moved more dirt to the front, hopefully mitigating the issue of water leaking down through it.
You can see this post shifted.
Yeah, you can still see
the.
this. I have knocked it back a couple times. But this post was the one that decided the whole thing, when it shifted the post over. So.
But next year, I'm hoping to move all my zucchini and squash outside and put a ton more peppers. God willing, I don't kill them all. And tomatoes. And maybe even some tomatillos. We'll see. But I'm going to move a lot of those in here that way. Because 4 tomato plants, even though they produced kind of, not nearly enough for what I was looking for.
Come on, dog.
Come on. Let's go. And then we've got the other side of the fence.
Still have tree pile. Ignore the tree pile. It'll be gone soon.
We've got tree piles everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're going to get solar lights for these that way, because out here it is like pitch black at night. Like you cannot see in front of your face. And we are going to get some solar lights just so I can see my way out to the chicken coop if necessary. But I'm not sure how they'll hold up in the extreme cold. That plus 3 hours of sunlight at peak winter, 2 to 3 hours.
I've actually found we're going to get one big solar light for the side of the house. We're going to put it on the side of the house over there. And then I found some battery operated smaller ones that we're going to put like on this post, and we're going to put them over on these posts so that they can actually have a light no matter what. And it's just a motion sensor, and the battery claims it will last in extreme climates.
Okay, but when they say extreme climates, they're like, it snowed. So
Yeah,
extreme
we'll see.
climate is a relative term, because to me, a really humid day at 80 degrees and I'm ready to die. But other people love that kind of weather. So
So we have our temporary fencing up over here too, from the
This is-
greenhouse out.
I was gonna say, this is the other part of the chicken run. It's gonna wrap all the way around and we'll go in. We are getting a much bigger coop, so that'll, you know, we put this in. This is not even like cemented in.
No.
But we made it so it was very easy to move when we get everything set up in the spring.
I mean, the chicken coop right now is, I mean, we got it for cheap and we got 2 chickens with it.
Yeah, so
I built the top though.
you did. He rebuilt the top, so it's a little bit hardier, and then we got paint for it. I don't know if we're gonna paint it in time, but
No, you're out of time.
I'm out of time.
It won't set after it's under 35,
okay. Well,
which is what it is. Which we'll end up painting it before we sell it or whatever
Yeah,
we do whenever
we'll
we get,
spruce
or
it
we'll
up.
keep it and have multiple chicken coops just in case we have one that has to be hidden from the other ones because he's being evil.
oh, it could be like a little quarantine area or something. I don't know.
Something. We'll figure it out. But she made a little teepee on the back.
I made, no, it's just a hide with some extra branches that I made for the chickens. Just another covered area. We left some of the brush that we pulled out of here in there. We'll go ahead. Well, you want to get the gate?
Yeah.
Please.
You can come back as long as you're nice to the chickens.
The chickens are in the coop. It's a chilly day. And by the time spring rolls around, we'll be wearing shorts and t-shirts in this kind of weather.
You're gonna
But
get whacked.
you're going to get pecked by the chickens, and I'm not going to blame them. No, they're not interested in her.
She's not interested in them either. She's like the poo smell.
Ugh. Yeah, the dog. We know it's good cow poop because the dog kept trying to roll in it, and we've had many unexpected bath nights with the dog. So this is the chicken run. We've still got some, maybe like some extra trees or logs to lay down towards the bottom. Some of the areas are not flat on the ground, but you can see there's lots of little stumps in here. Moss, a lot of ground that's already kind of broken up and rotting forest material, and the chickens will really love that. If a predator wanted to get in here, it could, and that's just something we're gonna have to figure out what works and what doesn't. I have not seen a lot of aerial predators up here because we live close to a river, and all the eagles and whatnot stay by the river because there's better fish and whatnot. So I think even if we have a ton of chickens here, we're just not offering the same quality buffet that fresh Alaskan salmon and trout do. Yeah. They're like, why would we do that? We got better food down the road. So we'll see.
I mean, worst case scenario is gonna be a fox, and realistically, I doubt they're gonna be that rampant around here.
Well,
the people around us have chickens and whatnot.
I was gonna say there was like the neighborhood fox that I got to see every now and then, but I think somebody hit him with this car or with a car, and I have not seen any other since.
You can see Caitlin used trees
This is
slightly offset.
a super secure system. Me just lining up some old trees. And this is kind of cool. Matt threw this brush pile back here to deal with later, but then the rabbits took up residence. Or the hares. Hares and rabbits are different.
They are, but I mean, they're the same thing. Yeah, I threw it back there because actually just on the other side of it, they have a bunch of stuff. So instead of pulling it all out and taking away their shelter, I left it in there. So they are going to have a nice, happy life, hopefully.
I think is it a warren or a burrow? Where the warren lives in the burrow? I'm not sure of all the terms. But see, this is a nice little area. It's got some trees that the chickens can hide in if they need to. We'll probably put up some more covered areas. There's my compost pile. Which I need to turn. But maybe next year or the year after that'll be ready. I don't know. Even though I filled it to the top before, it is kind of dropping down, which tells me that stuff is breaking down in it. Despite the colder climate.
I'm going to get manure and stuff for it too.
We are?
I'm going to throw manure, not this winter, but for next spring or whatever, I'm going to throw manure on top of it.
I'd have my worm compost, but they're all on back order, so I'm waiting on that. Who knew there was a national worm shortage? I can't say worm.
You just did.
I say it and then I can't. I don't know. Your turn.
What's my turn for?
I don't know. You just told it. But that's Matt's been a busy bee, so this is almost entirely his work. I walked
You helped a
around.
lot with the garden.
I supervised.
Yeah.
I scratched some of the dirt.
It was definitely a project, and it's something that we wanted to get done, and it's something that's going to benefit us next year, although I'm constantly sore at the moment from doing it. Also ignore that over there.
Why?
She's not camera shy, apparently. Are you camera shy, Lee Bird?
No.
Yo, hi. Right.
Yeah, the goal is to become more self-sufficient, raise our own chickens, grow or forage for the majority of our food, and eventually hunt and fish, which Matt did a lot of fishing this year, but we are right on the cusp of getting in-state hunting license, so it didn't happen for moose season this year.
I could technically bow hunt them, but I'm not doing that.
Maybe the roadkill list.
Maybe. Which if we get one, we'll explain what that is, but if we don't get one, we're not. But yeah, they're gonna have all kinds of, I mean, all these leaves and stuff that are here and
Like
just
that.
leaving this stuff. They're gonna have all kinds of pecking to do instead of hanging out in their coop like they are right now.
Oh, these two, they're agoraphobic, they really are.
But as you can see, it's getting cold enough at night. Their water's freezing.
Yeah,
So we're gonna have to put in the heat lamp soon.
Yeah, everybody said, a lot of people say don't put in the heat lamp for chickens, but a lot of that advice comes from places where
It's 20 degrees, not negative 20.
it gets down to negative. Last year we had a day it was negative 60,
Oh, that was for a week.
and that's Fahrenheit. We're gonna have to put a Celsius on the screen because I'm too dumb to figure it out right now.
We have something back there that still needs to come out. Come here.
Hey bird,
Come on.
you are not a chicken. Get out
She
of
likes
there.
to hide back there. All right, well, that's that. Welcome to our fancy backyard. That
Yeah.
was a project for about a month and a half.
Home improvements.